My name is Raghav and I want to talk about Superman. Superman is a 2025 American superhero film based on the character of, you guessed it, Superman from DC Comics. Written and directed by James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad fame, this is the first film in the new DC universe produced by DC Studios and the second reboot of the Superman film series. James Gunn is a self-proclaimed comic book fan and it really shows. While the other iterations of Superman focus on introducing or reintroducing the character to new audiences, this film takes the approach a lot of comic book runs take, which is assuming that you know something about the character already or has faith in the audience that they will accept the conceit of the story and pick up whatever isn't explicitly explained via context as the plot of the movie unfolds. We're not in the beginning of the Superman story. We're just witnessing one of his adventures. The movie isn't interested in introducing every character or explaining all the different dynamics and heroes. This is a world full of heroes and monsters, and we just have to go along with the ride and keep up. This movie moves at a breakneck pace. We are going from one scenario to the next, and although the devices themselves are very simplistic, the global conflict between the made-up nations, the story of Superman's public perception, and the antagonism of Lex are all given the bare minimum of treatment, where things that feel like they should take time to develop all happen in a matter of hours. What I'm trying to say is that the film doesn't really take itself too seriously, and neither should we, because the emotional core of the film is strong. Superman does a couple of things very well. Firstly, getting to see Clark Kent living his life outside of the Superman job is just really nice. I've been waiting for it, and although it's not as much as I would like in this movie, it's still just nice to witness the Man of Steel eat breakfast and stuff. David Coronswet is a lovely Superman. He looks the part, he plays the role with sincerity, and he really makes you feel his pain, both physically and emotionally. He really carries the film on his charm and rises to the occasion of being a worthy successor to quite an iconic role. Watching this movie kinda makes me wish for at least a short film with Henry Cavill getting a chance to play a non-cynical version of this character as well. Not that he doesn't do the Snyder serious Superman really well, but it would have been nice to see him smile every now and then. I'm not the biggest fan of Rachel Brosnahan. She feels a bit one note to me as Lois Lane, but it's not anything that derails the movie. And the two of them work well together. I love the Kents. I've been dying to see this iteration of Superman's parents. They're adorable as hell, and we just don't spend enough time with them. There are a bunch of other superheroes in this movie. We get a Lantern, a Hawk Girl, a Metamorpho, and a Terrific. Everyone's good in their roles, and they have that James Gunn ensemble energy, which I understand feels kinda out of place when you imagine a Superman movie, but given the overall tone of this film, it works. And honestly, if we didn't know that this movie was being directed by James Gunn, I feel like we'd all find this change of pace and approach to be really refreshing. The only thing I'd say is that in terms of what actually happens in the movie and how the plot gets resolved, which I did love, it just felt like it would have been cool if the movie had been called Superman and Friends. You know, considering how much his friends actually play a pivotal role. Obviously, this is an entirely personal wish. It doesn't actually affect the enjoyment of the movie. I really want to give a special mention to Sarah Sampaio as Luthor's perpetually mistreated girlfriend. It's a trope that we've seen many times in these kinds of movies, and she does her part really well. She's adorable and delightfully unhinged, and her character story is actually really clever. James Gunn has created a great twist to a character that is quite tropey. I really love how the plot came together through this myriad of likable and fun characters. Speaking of likable, I didn't love Crypto. He feels very much like an afterthought, but the animation on that dog is fantastic. And speaking of visuals, the film looks great. The trailers and marketing did the look of this movie a great disservice. When I watched the trailers, it looked like a weird cartoony mess. And I was surprised when all the reviewers were saying that it looks beautiful. Yes, some bits of the movie are cartoony, but it all has a solid reason behind it. The movie as a whole is visually great, especially when we get into the weirder sci-fi stuff, which is absolutely stellar. I have been noticing the trailers are getting worse at giving you a sense of the movies, especially nerfing these visuals, which feels so counterintuitive to me considering that movies are a visual medium. I've seen so many movies that sell a totally different vibe in the trailer than what we actually end up seeing on the big screen. The Furiosa trailer, the latest Planet of the Apes trailer, they both had unfinished VFX, and they even changed the color grading of some shots to look more generic, which is so crazy. The trailers for Superman made the movie seem like a Saturday morning cartoon. And while that is an element of it, there's a lot more complexity in here than you're being shown. Nicholas Hoult is so good as Lex Luthor. He brought his own specificity to the role, and while physically he isn't necessarily the actor I'd pick, his take on this character is perfect and really fun to watch. Overall, I'd say that this movie is a solid start to the new DC universe. And while it's sad to say goodbye to the Snyderverse, I'm looking forward to this version of things, especially considering that we seem to not want to waste time with origin stories. I really hope we see more of this momentum from future films in the DCU. My only gripe is that in the heat of the third act, and honestly kind of throughout the movie, nobody once looks around in the chaos and goes, "Hey, where's Clark? Does anyone know where Clark Kent is?" Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel and leave a comment letting me know which movie you think I should check out next. Also, if you are a fan of my work, check out some of my other videos, including my animated D&D show, which I work really hard on and is fully animated. And if you are looking for ways to support me, please check out my Patreon. There is a lot of bonus content on there and new shows that are exclusive just to the Patreon that are coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.